Warning: Alan and JJ Johnson are not professional comedians. During this program, you will be exposed to unfiltered dad jokes in their most potent and raw form, dads telling them to each other. Watching this video may lead to serious physical harm, including facepalm concussions, head-shaking whiplash, and uncontrollable groaning. Proceed at your own risk.
Hey everybody, I'm Alan.
And I'm JJ.
And this is Two Dads and a Joke, where we have a 6-pack of dad jokes with just a shot of parenting advice. And this season we're working on parenting advice from the Proverbs, talking about God's wisdom today. And you know who's actually pretty wise?
Who's that?
Plumbers. They know a lot of things, and you know, an elderly plumber, they can be super wise because they've seen it all, you know. But do you know why a lot of times they retire early?
No, I don't.
Their work is draining.
Okay, so I think you broke me, man.
I try every time.
So, all right, so, you know, we're close to spring, one of my favorite seasons of the year, and you know why?
Why?
Because I love the fish.
Yeah, fish.
I'm a big time fisher, man, and I love going crappie fishing and, you know, bass fishing and everything, and they're starting to, you know, come out, and, you know, they're multiplying. Fish are everywhere. I love the fish. And so, you know, it got me thinking about, you know, wisdom and fish. You know who was a wise guy? It was Noah, right?
Yeah.
So do you know why Noah didn't do a lot of fishing on the ark?
Why didn't Noah do a lot of fishing on the ark?
He only had 2 worms.
He only had 2 worms. Wow.
Yes.
I love it. That's totally right. That's totally right. So, folks, just so you know, JJ and I, how we became partners in crime is we're both writers. I'm writing the Towers of Light series, Light of Minds Out There. JJ?
I'm writing the Iggy and Oz series, and Iggy and Oz, the Plastic Diamonds of Doom is out there.
And so how we keep you up to date on what we're doing in that space is we have our social media. We have the at Two Dads and a Joke. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well as our website, www.twodadsandAjoke.com. So you can find out more about us, or just kind of get a fairly regular dose of dad jokes as we're out there on social media all the time. You know, I got inspired on this week's social media one though. JJ, I saw on Facebook or something the other day. Do you have cats?
I do have a cat. Yeah.
You have a cat. You know what? I have cats too. We're cat people, you know. And I think part of the reason that I'm a cat person, because I know that dogs can't operate an MRI machine, but cats can. That's the kind of quality stuff. I got a great meme here. I'm hoping that it's showing on the screen right now. That came right off the social media. Big shout out. I think that was to @DADJOKES on Facebook. We'll have to verify that, but I love that meme because I've got a big orange cat like that. I think you do too. So you'll have to see it.
Yeah, I like it. So anyway, you know, going back to my fishing, I love the fish, and you know, one of my favorite memories growing up with my dad, who gave me a lot of wisdom, by the way, was going fishing with my dad. You know, we'd go out, we'd do a lot of pond fishing. He'd always take his big, you know, green Stanley thermos with him, fill it to the brim with coffee and things like that. But my dad liked to take his little portable ham radio, and he loved to turn it on the FM station and listen to music. And you know what type of music he loved to listen to when we were fishing?
What kind of music would he listen to when you were fishing?
Something catchy.
Wow, that's a good one. Something catchy. I like it. You know what's funny, JJ, is we don't plan these things, but I had some fish jokes on my list too. So there we go.
Hey,
check this one out. Why are fish so smart?
Ooh, I have no idea.
They hang out in schools.
That's a good one. I like that.
So speaking of smart, we're focused on the wisdom from the Proverbs. And so today we're going to talk about Proverbs 2, 11, and 12. discretion will watch over you, understanding will guard you, delivering you from the way of evil. And so what stood out to me was the deliverance bit of this.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of times when, as parents or our kids are caught up in something that they didn't necessarily mean to get caught up in. You know, we talked earlier in an earlier episode about common sense and kind of avoiding things all up, but sometimes you might not have done anything wrong, but now you're in it, right? You just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and now what do you do? And that delivering you from the way of evil really, really resonated with me as a parent of you know, how do I help my kids when a lot of times they didn't start it, they didn't mean to be in the situation they're in, but now they got to get out. And so, JJ, what do you think about that one?
Well, when I'm looking at these verses, one of the things that sticks out is verse 12, where it says, "Wisdom will save you from evil people, from those whose words are twisted." And I kind of went through the rest of this all the way through 22, and it starts talking about this woman with flattery words, which is also kind of people can say things to us in our life that makes us feel good about ourselves, and it not necessarily be true at all. And right. They can persuade us to do things. And I think sometimes what we lack is the proper discernment to be able to make a decision about whether or not what this person is saying to me is right, wrong, or deceiving. And, so I growing up, I made a lot of bad decisions simply because I listened to the wrong people. And,
oh, absolutely.
And and I know as authors, there are a lot of people out there who kind of target authors and say, hey, be a bestseller this year.
Right.
A lot of those ads give you the flattery speech, the flattery pitch, and then you spend all this money, and guess what? Nothing happens. And so I think what we do is we tend to look at what we want, what we think we need, and we turn towards those who want to offer it to us in a quick fix instant. And sometimes the words that people are speaking to us aren't necessarily truthful words. They make us feel good. They give us hope, but they're a false sense of hope. And all you got to do is look at the number of people who have been hurt in life by something that somebody did, whether it's a bad investment, or it's a cult type situation, or you start you date the wrong person. I dated a lot of the wrong people growing up, and so and I hung out with a lot of the wrong friends who made me feel like, hey, I could be accepted, I could be a part of this crowd. And so one of the things I hope to be able to give my kids is the ability to understand when somebody doesn't necessarily have your best interest, and to be able to differentiate between what is false truth and what is real truth, and to be able to make the right choice and not necessarily fall for somebody who just gives you something that makes you feel good about yourself.
No, I totally get that. And I like in the version I had that discretion will watch over you, right? Yes. And you use the word discernment, right? Yes. It goes together. It's that discretion to know I'm not all that, right? Because that's a bit of it, right? Is to your point about the flattering words or the things that might draw you into evil or draw you down the wrong way. Being able to get that discerning wisdom to know, hey, whoa. This is the wrong way. We're headed down the wrong path. And I've seen multiple times where my own kids over time have gotten caught up with kids that were either the wrong kids, or maybe they were the right kids, but they were starting to go down the wrong path. And they've been able to get some level of discernment that this isn't right. I need to do something different, and have pulled the escape plan. One of the advice, things from a parenting perspective is I always gave my kids the throw up plan. If you tell your friend you're about to throw up and then you go to the bathroom and text us that you need to get out of the situation, it's a good plan, because nobody's going to mess with you if you're throwing up. Like, nobody wants to be involved in that.
Nobody wants to be around that.
Right? And it's fine. You can have your parents come get it. But they always had that way to be delivered from evil. Like, if things are going the wrong way, here's your escape plan, or here's how you can get out of it. And I think there's a ton of wisdom in the Bible about that kind of thing, to recognize that you might be walking down the street and now, there's the floundering or whatever coming towards you, but recognizing that for what it is. I've had a lot of things as an adult where I've run into situations where people were being very flattering or otherwise pumping me up, that they were just trying to get something.
Yeah.
Versus the people that were genuinely interested in my own success, that we could be partners and do that. And I think that's one of the places where you need to put prayer into it, to really know, what's going on. Is this really where you ought to be? And the other thing is, you just got to remember that if your kids are following what we said in our earlier episodes about listen to your mom and dad, they can always phone home, right? That's one of the things from a wisdom perspective. If they'll follow that earlier wisdom of I'm law, one of the ways they can be delivered from evil is having a good conversation with mom and dad. But how are they going to have that conversation if they're out in the middle of the ocean?
Oh, you might need my dad's ham radio.
Or maybe a shell phone.
Ooh.
That was bad. That was totally bad. I'm sorry, JJ. I didn't mean to do that to you. That's like the worst one that I think I've ever said.
No, man. Okay,
that's right. There's probably other worse ones. We probably should have everybody vote on what joke was the worst of all episodes.
We should go back through all our jokes and do the worst jokes episode. Because I've told some horrible ones, man.
So have I. We could go get. The problem is nobody would want to watch that to actually vote on it. It would take an iron constitution to last more than a couple of them.
I like that shellfish, though. Shell phone, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a shell phone. Yep.
Shell phone. So anyway, I'm a comic book geek. You're a comic book guy, right? You got comic
absolutely.
books right behind you, man.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I grew up reading a lot of Batman.
Oh.
And, yeah. So do you know why Batman and Robin no longer go fishing together?
Why don't Batman and Robin go fishing?
Because Robin ate all the worms.
Oh.
That was a bad one.
No, that's better than shelf.
I think it's late.
Ron ate the words is way better than shell phone. I'm sorry. You win.
It's about 10:30
All
where
right.
I'm at. I don't know where at.
Well, everybody, on that, I don't know, horrible note. I'll catch you later.
See ya.